Mahotep.
Mahotep.
Ashe. Wasn't it a wonderful Youth Sunday?
Yes.
Did y'all enjoy all the talent?
Yes.
All right. So, as I get started, as I always do, I must give honor to the one true living God, the creative force of the universe, the sustainer of all life, the one that dwells in each and every one of us. I give praise, honor, respect to my ancestors who have paved the way so that so many of us will be here today. Ashe?
Ashe.
I give reverence to Dr. Ray Hagins for all that he does. And I give respect to each and every one of you for being here today and all that you do. Ashe?
Ashe.
I greet you by saying again, Mahotep.
Mahotep.
Today's subject is something I have been pondering on for some time to speak about. And I think this is a very opportune time to speak on this subject. Ashe? Y'all saying, what are y'all saying Ashe to? Y'all don't know. But I think it's a very opportune time to speak on this subject. I'll tell you a few reasons why. One of the reasons why it's such an opportune time because I see so many brothers and sisters in the audience that are couples, that are together, or your other may not be here, but it's an opportune time. But the other reason why I feel, or I know that it is an opportune time because today is my anniversary. I've been married for 12 years to my wife, Camille. I've been with her for 17 years. I'm 33 years old, so I've been with her longer than half my life. Ashe?
Ashe.
So, we go through our things. She looking at me a little hard right now. See, that smile comes right easy, though, So, I've been with her for 17 years, 17 strong, wonderful years. They move real fast for me. I hope it's the same for her. So give her a round of applause for putting up with me. So as I started preparing for this message, I realized how lofty a goal that it would be. And I realized that it's no way that I could communicate in the time allotted all that I want to project in my message today. So today's message will be a foundational message. A message for different workshops, seminars, and private sessions to come. Ashe?
Sure.
Today's message is entitled African Relationships with a Western Paradigm. Again, check me. African relationships with a Western paradigm. Y'all catch that?
Yes.
Come on now, y'all help me out here because y'all look like y'all asleep. And it's going to be a hard message for me if I can't get any interaction. So please smile back at me when I smile at you. Ashe.
Ashe.
So if we look at the word paradigm, we'll look at it in the definition that I have for paradigm is a typical example or pattern of something, a model. A paradigm, again, a typical example or pattern or a model. A pattern of something, a way of life, a way of thinking, a way of doing something. And I ask you today, why is it that we do things the way that we do it? And that's what we need to think about. Ashe?
Ashe.
So what I would be doing today, please, don't get offended, don't take offense, but think. If you think that I'm wrong, come talk to me later. Ashe? Don't go talk to your brother or your sister, come talk to me. Because I'm man enough that I can handle you. Ashe?
Ashe.
Many of us say things like, if he or she would just do things the way that I want them to be, then we would not have many problems. Y'all heard that before?
Say it again, please, sir.
If we or she would just do things the way that I want it to be done, then we would not have any problems in our relationships. Y'all got that?
Yes.
Many of us say that we have nothing in common. Many of us say he or she doesn't pay me any attention. Y'all heard this before? Y'all hear these things? So we're going to talk about these things today. Or if he does or she does pay me attention, he doesn't give me enough. She doesn't give me enough. And I'm starting out with the he because it's normally the feminine energy that feels that they're not getting enough energy. And it's the masculine energy that feels as if they're not being mentally stimulated to a way they want to pontificate with their female. With their wife. We have to understand that we are created different. We have to understand that we need to fulfill each other's needs. That is if you want that relationship to move forward. If you want that relationship to last. Many of us say we have nothing in common. Again, he doesn't pay me any attention. Many of us say he did this yesterday and she did this the other day. And that happened the other day. Many of us say. And I'm going to stick to my notes today because we are pressed for time. So I hope you don't mind that if I just go straight to this message because we're trying to get to our Carol. So if I go straight and I don't expound on the points as much, come talk to me afterwards. The fact is, when we say that he or she and this and that and this one did that and that one did that and this happened yesterday and so forth and so forth. I say so forth and so forth. Everybody else says so on and so forth. That's me. So forth and so forth. But the fact is that we will not openly admit that relationships are more complex than that. Our problems didn't start yesterday. Our problems didn't start a few seconds ago because your shirt wasn't ironed when you wanted it to be. Our problem didn't start because she forgot to cook or he forgot to take out the trash or whatever. It didn't start then. That, what some people say is, all I did was forget to take out the trash. And now she went on. No, we have to understand that you forgot to take out the trash. It's just something that you put that person over, that individual over. You forgetting to cook is what put that person over. That in itself wasn't the problem. See, we often attribute small things and say, this is all I did. This is all I did. But it's something deeper than that. Again, relationships are more complex than any of us would care to admit. Many of the problems that we face in our male and female relationships, our marriages, and so on, are caused by a lack of culture. I'm going to say it again. Many of the problems that we have in our relationships come from a lack of culture. Are y'all with me?
Yes, sir. With you.
Or the modeling of an alien culture. Because the ignorance of your own culture, thus resulting in a lack of communication. Where culture is lacked, there is no significant room for communication. Y'all with me?
Yes.
Hold on, I want to make sure y'all really with me. Where culture is lacked, there is no room for communication. When we don't have a system that we agree on, there's no way to communicate. Because you have been brought up to do this, and I have been brought up to do this. This is what's normal to me. This is what's normal to me. And we fail to agree on things, so we cannot agree on things. We will not agree on things because we've been brought up differently. We've been put through this and that. We just don't see things eye to eye. Asha? Now, is the problem really the other person? Or is the problem that we don't have the same culture? that someone has robbed us of our culture. We don't have the rites of passage into marriage. We don't have the rites of passage into relationships. We don't have a systematic way of courting each other.
That's right.
We do have these things, but we'll get into it. When there is a lack of communication, there is what I label unresolved conflict. When you cannot communicate with one another, ultimately it becomes a problem. And that problem that the person blew up about comes from that lack of communication in the past. Because many of us, children, you come from relationships. So this is appropriate for Youth Sunday as well. So because that lack of communication, and then you kiss, make up, and smile, but never deal with the issue, 20 years later, you want to know why she's getting mad about you not taking the trash out. Because when one or the other tried to communicate, they could not see eye to eye, or they never communicated, so the problem was put in the recesses of your mind, in your subconscious mind. So far back, your subconscious mind controls you, you don't even know it. The person might not even know what they're mad about. Because we have all this unresolved conflict built up. Ashe?
Ashe.
Y'all with me, honestly? Are y'all with me?
Yes.
Are y'all feeling me? Do I have a witness?
Yes.
Unresolved conflict is a recipe for what we see today in our communities. And that being the recipe of a 66% divorce rate among Africans born in America. Y'all hear me?
You heard me.
That many experts say is as high as 88%. The additional 30% is comprised of those couples who have separated but are no longer together, but is no records for it. Ashe?
Ashe.
These figures do not include marriages that remain intact statistically and legally, while emotionally they have not been together for years. Why do we suffer from these problems when we have models in Africa who have less than a 5% divorce rate? Did y'all hear that? We have models in place in Africa where there's less than a 5% divorce rate, and we're constantly following someone else's lack of culture. Ashe?
Ashe.
We're going to talk about this. Before we get into it, I would like to define what culture is if you were to look in your dictionary. If you were to look in your dictionary, culture, it has 5 sequential definitions. Number 1, the art of music, literature, and related intellectual activities considered collectively. 2, the enlightenment and sophistication acquired through education and exposure to the arts. 3, the belief, customs, practices, and social behaviors of a particular nation or people. Number 4, a group of people whose shared beliefs and practices identify with a particular place, class, or time which they belong. Number 5, a particular set of attitudes that are characterized as a group of people. Ashe? Sure. Y'all catch all that? Y'all didn't miss any of it, right?
Caught it.
Y'all caught all of that. Y'all ate it up. So let's go back. Again, why are our marriages failing? Our relationships failing? Why don't we have harmonious living conditions? And why is this so prevalent in this society? Because the lack of culture, which in turn creates a lack of communication. Again, a lack of culture creates a lack of communication. All what I said earlier about culture is a way of communicating. If you